Hey everyone, my name is Isaac. I am the founder of Cite Anything. We are a computer software company that will allow users to quickly cite any source accurately. And we are convinced that this product will revolutionize the way people write papers today, and it's my hope that by the end of this conversation, you'll agree with me as well. I'd like for you to picture someone working on a paper at their computer late at night. It could be a student, a professor working on an article, or even an attorney working on a brief that's due the next day. At some point during the night, they will go through the arduous process of citing every source that they refer to in their paper. And as the night turns into the wee hours of the morning, one might begin to ask themselves if there's an easier way to do this. Enter Cite Anything, a computer program that allows students, teachers, and working professionals to quickly cite any source accurately. The user simply highlights their online document and selects the proper citation format, eliminating the need to enter in any information at all. With more than 15 million students attending colleges in the US and the thousands upon thousands of law firms represented here, our firm is strategically placed to profit from this using intellectual property protection and key relationships to create a sustainable competitive advantage. Our motto is simple: highlight, right-click, cite. You see, the problem with the traditional method of citing sources is that it's antiquated, time-consuming, and often frustrating. It typically involves 3, maybe 4 steps. First, you have to figure out what to cite. Once you've figured out what to cite, then you have to find that information in your source. And then and only then can you enter that information into your document. So let's just say that if we add a 4th step of double checking your work, this takes the average user somewhere between 5 and 7 minutes. You say, Isaac, what's the problem with that? Well, 5 minutes is okay if you have 1 source, 3 sources, maybe even 10 sources. But let's say you have 50 sources or 100 sources. Like this law review article I have here, for example, in which there are over 297 footnotes that needed to be cited. Or let's take the textbook industry, a $10 billion industry, mind you, in which authors have to cite sources. There are several here in front of you for your consideration as well. But this one here has over 500 footnotes that needed to be cited. So if we take as a base, say 100 sources, at 5 minutes, that's 500 minutes, or 8.3 hours. That doesn't include research, that doesn't include typing your paper, and that doesn't include proofreading. You see those 5 minutes quickly add up. But this is where we come in. We streamline the citation process for you by eliminating the need for you to enter in any information at all. All the user simply has to do is highlight their online document, right-click it, and cite. It's that simple. The value of our product is time. By eliminating the need for you to look up information, by eliminating the need for you to enter information, and by allowing you to cite any document that you would encounter in the format, we give the user the fastest citation capabilities available. You say, Isaac, that's a great idea, but hasn't somebody already thought of that? As a matter of fact, they have. On the screen behind me are several of our competitors that we've identified. We've spent time using these products and researching them, and what we've come to find out is that it's not about the idea, but the execution of the idea that makes a difference. We've identified 3 significant problems with these products that are remedied in our product and therefore make it a superior product. Problems. Problem number 1, complicated user interface. A lot of these programs require the user to upload a document before it can be cited. Again, this is okay if you have 5 sources, but if you have 50, it becomes just as time-consuming as a traditional method. Problem number 2. The citation format only works within the program's database. So if I'm in a database looking at only cases and I want to cite something from the New York Times, I can't do it because the program doesn't allow me to. In contrast, Cite Anything will allow the user to cite from multiple sites, therefore increasing the flexibility of what the user can cite. Problem number 3, incomplete citation formats. These programs will cite cases, but they don't cite statutes and law review articles, for example. Or they'll do endnotes, but they don't do legal citation. You say, Isaac, what's the problem with that? Well, let me ask you this. Would spell check be a complete resource if it only cited or only corrected the most complicated words out there? Well, no, right? The value of spell check is that it allows the user to, no matter what your level of education, you can correct anything. If you don't know how to spell entrepreneur, spell check has your back. If you don't know how to spell the ontogenetic recapitulation of phylogeny, spell check has your back. If you don't know how to spell car, spell check has your back. Why? It's a complete resource. And in the same way, our mission is to be a complete resource for individuals. And by allowing a user to cite any document that they would encounter in a format, we give the user the fastest citation capabilities available. How we get to the market. Currently, Cite Anything is in its development phase, but we will be ready for beta testing and alpha and beta testing very soon. I'd like to take a quick moment to show you a video of what we've been able to accomplish on our own. In this video, you are going to see a desktop of our programmer in which he actually uses the program. There's a PDF that he's downloaded of a case. He highlights, right-clicks, and it's immediately exported with the quotation into his document. To your right is the word processor. To the left is the PDF. And as you can see, the quotation is displayed in the word processor along with the citation. And he actually does this again. And if you can see at the bottom here, this is actually the short version of the citation. The program knows which citation to include. We are currently seeking $47,000 in additional funding in order to help us continue finish the development of our product. We want to launch in January of 2013. And we've already purchased our domain name. And actually, when I bought it, the salesperson was actually surprised that the name was actually still available. We've also picked up our Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and we are in the process of assembling a team of developers in order to help us expedite our process. In addition to this, we've also put together a very strong leadership team of business-savvy and entrepreneurial-minded people, including the following. Seth Zilke brings to the table entrepreneurial experience, not only from his work at starting his own film production company, which he's launched several small films and is in the process of shooting a feature, but is also a part franchise owner in a Robex Juice franchise. Seth brings to the table financial planning, strategic planning, budgeting, and will be a tremendous asset to our team. In our technical department, we have Travis Gassman. Travis specializes in development for Microsoft Word and other web-based applications. Travis will be part of our initial launch of our program, and he will also be responsible for research and development and technical support. Last but not least, we have myself, and I apologize that all you can see is my teeth. But I not only bring to the table legal experience from soon to be a graduate of one of the finest law schools in the country, if I may say so myself, but I am also I also bring entrepreneurial experience from working for my father's companies as his director of operations for a number of years. I also bring leadership experience to the table as I started a music program at a church. And when I showed up, there was nothing there. There was no instruments, there was no team. To this day, years later, that program is still in operation. Our team is of the philosophy that if the company does well, we all do well. And so in order to do that, we've taken several steps. First, we are going to significantly lower our production and overhead costs. We will offer our product exclusively on the internet. By doing this, we eliminate our distribution, storage, and production costs. In addition to this, we are also going to engage in rigorous internet marketing. And I'll talk a little bit more about why we're going to do that in a moment. We are also going to market our product on two fronts, to businesses and also to individuals. As we do this, we are going to have a three-pronged attack. First, we are going to engage in direct marketing. We're going to use the relationships that we already have with law firms and colleges and universities in order to get our product onto the market. We will actually show up and we'll offer students, say, a free iPad to sign up. We're going to offer a 30-day trial of our software to law firms, and we believe that once they have tried our product, that we're convinced that they would want to purchase it, given the ease and the time that this is going to save them. We are also going to be a part of trade shows. We will show up at events such as Legal Tech, in which there are over 20,000 law firms represented. And once we are there, we will be able to purchase a booth and, again, hand out 30-day trials of our software. Given the ease in which this product and the time saver that this product is, we're convinced that they would want to purchase our product. In addition, we're going to engage in rigorous internet marketing. Why? Because the demand is already there. Last month alone, there were over 300,000 searches for APA citation formats on Google. There were over 100,000 searches for MLA citation formats on Google. So the demand is there, and we're convinced that if we engage in activities such as search engine optimization, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, we'll be able to reach that market. Again, one of the reasons why we believe our product is going to be successful is because of the mass appeal of our product. We're not just selling to women, we're not just selling to men. We're not just selling to graduates or undergraduates, young or old. The common thread between all of them is that at some point they're going to write a research paper, and when they do, Cite Anything will be there to help them. Also, a part of our strategy is also competitive pricing. As you can see here, we have several different pricing options available: a single license, a family license, and a business license, all to help people reach their goals. Based on this, based on our demand for our product, based on our strategy, we forecast our numbers to be as follows. We've studied several companies in the past, small companies, and have used that to determine our sales forecast. As you can see here, we'll be able to sell 400 in our first year, and these are quite modest numbers given the demand for this product that's already out there. Our profit and loss statement shows a modest profit in the first year, and we accomplish this by keeping our costs down. And we will continue to grow exponentially as the demand and the word gets out about our product. This profit and loss statement also does not include the sale of additional upgrades and plugins, and it also assumes a 15% burden rate on each employee. So as you can see, Cite Anything is a powerful resource that will ultimately change the way people write papers. This is a game changer, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking for $47,000 in additional funding to help us finish the development of our product for a 25% stake in our company. The net present value of our company currently is around $220,000. I would just like to take a second just to talk quickly about our exit strategy. There's a plausible argument can be made that our product would be acquired by a larger company. Why? Companies like Google and Microsoft are competing for market share in the word processing market. Anything that would give them an edge would be of value to them. Google bought 79 companies last year, and Microsoft bought their share as well. And so there's a plausible argument that that could be made, but in the event that that does not happen, our product is still ready to expand into the following. We will convert our product from a citation tool into a research tool. Think about this. When you're on Amazon and you purchase a product, it says people who bought this product have also bought these other products. Well, what happens if you cite a case and it says people who cite this case have also cited these cases? Or people who have cited this book have also cited that book? Or people who, if you're using this case for this argument, these are the counter arguments. This is what we're prepared to do. The technology exists and we are ready to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, Cite Anything is a game changer. We can change the way people write papers today, and with your help, we will make that dream a reality. I'm Isaac Agyeman. Thank you very much for your time.
Well done. Thank you. Nice presentation. You don't have to answer this question, but I would have liked to have heard a little bit about how it actually happens. I know what it does, and I know the time it saves, and I get all that. It's a great demonstration. But I think at some point you probably want to do a little bit of the how it works. So, is there a database somewhere, or are you scouring the web? Or, where are you getting the sources that are looking? And then I think your vertical selling strategy is very smart, and I might even suggest staying over that side of the ledger first before you expand into the other side. But part of what I think you need to do is convert your selling proposition into some kind of return on investment, particularly when you're selling to law firms and to businesses who need your service. So it's going to save each person $8. Well, what does that convert into in terms of an ROI for me? What's the money equation? How am I saving money? How am I making money? How is that helping me? That's what a business wants to see when you go to them with what is essentially a productivity tool.
Okay, thank you.
I thought that was an excellent presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
I totally agree with you about user experience. If you can make the user experience that easy, that fast, I think you're going to win. What I didn't really get, and I think it'd probably be for another meeting, was really what is the barriers to entry from LexisNexis or Microsoft Word to actually doing what you're doing? How fast would it take them to do it? I'd like to see a little more description on that. And then the other question I had was Travis, I think he works for Microsoft. Is there a conflict of interest there?
Oh, he doesn't work for Microsoft.
Okay.
He just specializes in development for Microsoft.
Okay, I thought I looked like he worked for Microsoft, so I was wondering if there might be a conflict of interest since you're competing with them. And then my only other comment is I'd probably tighten up the presentation, less slides. I don't think you need to show us all the details on the financials, just show us the summary, because the font's getting pretty small, and I think that only hurts your wonderful presentation skills, by the way. And I think you're definitely going to have to think about larger revenue numbers to attract investment. It's just way too low, in my opinion, even for angels. I think you got to look at where you can boost revenue. And a lot of the presentations I've seen today have really high profit margins in the beginning. And I just challenge everybody to think about where they can invest back into the business to boost up revenue, because that's the only way you're going to attract an investor.
Okay.
Hey, Isaac, how you doing?
Good, good.
You did a very good job with the presentation. What I would have liked you to spend more time on, which I'd like you to go into a little bit now, is I don't really understand the mechanics of how it cites anything. So let's take a couple cases. One, you're writing a paper and you want to reference another paper or a book or an author. That's a different use case than legal citation. So it sounds good that you can right-click on anything and cites it, but I think you need to walk us through how that actually happens, because I don't know how a software, unless you literally had a database of every book and every paper that was calling a piece of text, I don't understand how you could highlight something and right-click it and then it automatically cites it for you.
Well, the reason why it's able to work is because every document that's online has, usually when you use a database like Lexis or Westlaw, the same citation information that you need to pull is always in the same place. And so when the user is on the website, like the case name, the party names, etc., they're always in the same place. They put them at the top where everybody can see them. So if you highlight that information, the program is designed to know exactly line 1, this is where the party name is. Line 2, this is where the V is. Line 3, this is where the volume number is, etc.
So I understand that for a legal citation, but again, you would still need access to all legal cases. You would need to license something like a Lexis. I don't understand how it would work writing a paper referencing a book or another paper.
Well, when you're using like online documents, like for example, if you go to Google Scholar and you use a book from there, right, that information is always, the strategy is that the information is always in the same place, no matter what the book is. Like if you go and you search for something on Google Scholar, you're going to find that information, even when you pull up the results. All that information is always listed in the same order in the same spot. And so all we do is program the computer to find that information once from the same spot, the exact same time. That's how it works.
So you only work on structured data?
Yes.
Go ahead. You got the mic.
Well, I'm gonna be a broken record again. So I mean, I have Jason's same problem, and we've talked before, and I've seen this before, and I still have the same problem. I still don't see how the software executes. I don't see how it finds the source, figures out what the proper citation format is, which means it has to go back to some other source and then creates it. But I'm sort of taking a leap of faith there.
It records it. There's a citation manager in the background that when I first loaded the presentation, you saw it and you clicked away from it. It runs in the background. When you copy that, when you highlight that stuff and right click it, it automatically records that information. So once it's in the citation manager, we can parse it through and take in using our citation rules, whatever format you choose, and then that sort of deduces it into the citation format that you need.
Well, that's an amazing piece of SaaS software if it works like that. And if I was here writing a check, I'd do a much deeper dive into that. But here's my broken record part. I'm really scratching my head with your financials. I mean, I just don't get it. I kept looking for the spot where it says in thousands, because in 2017, you're going to make $479,000 off of this. If your product does what it says it does, and it gets adopted by law firms and universities and everything, this company in 2017 is going to be making $479 million. And I don't understand how in year 2017, 5 years out, you got $105,000 for salary. I mean, the three of you guys that you cited alone aren't going to be working for $105,000 total in 2017, and you're going to build a team all around that and a bunch of other people. I mean, you'll have 30 employees by then. How in the world do you have $105,000 worth of salary? So I think you really need to go back and rework your financials, because you're a brilliant presenter, by the way. If this doesn't work out, you got a big career on Sunday morning TV.
I was going to say, if he knows anything about water treatment, I've got a job.
Yeah, you're a brilliant presenter, Isaac, and you're really compelling. But you're going to lose all your credibility when a sophisticated investor opens up these financials.
Scott, and let me interrupt you, because it leads right to my comment, and actually take it one step up, and that is, for those of us who aren't lawyers and haven't written a research paper in 30 years and don't really understand, okay, what's the addressable market? I mean, where are we starting from? How much, what's the likelihood that these people are really going to spend money on this software? And then funnel that down into some realistic expectations of what revenue, because I agree exactly with what Scott said. If this really works, if this really does, then just start adding zeros. If it doesn't work, then one giant zero. But it couldn't possibly work out the way you have it.
Well, we use very conservative numbers. I have to admit that. We looked at.
No, wait. I'm going to interrupt you. I'm a numbers guy. These aren't conservative numbers. These are wrong. Okay. No offense. I'm not challenging you. Great presentation and a good idea. These aren't conservative. These are just flat out wrong. It can't ever happen this way. If it does, you haven't been able to pay back investment, or somebody else has picked off your idea and they're the ones with the zeros. So no offense, they're not conservative.
Well, we use as a proxy a company that I know, a small company here called Barmax. They create a $1,000 application in which they help students prepare for the California bar, for any bar for that matter. Their first year out, they were able to sell $260,000 apps. And so we estimated, based on the price point of that versus the price point of ours, that we would be able to sell, modestly about 400. But you're right. Given the nature of the product, the value, the demand, it could probably be a whole lot larger than I'm
anticipating. And a $1,000 specific app that's unique to a particular industry, as compared to $39.95 or $99.99 for a family license, is a completely different market, and you've got to have a completely different magnitude of number of users, which is going to be dependent on what's the addressable market and how is that translating into market penetration.
Let me, I don't want to echo, because you've already heard it more times here, but I will say that while I'm not a financial whiz, just the mere fact that there are zeros across your cost of goods sold all the way across makes it completely unbelievable, because even if you develop the absolute perfect product and it never needed to change, which no one has ever done, there's always going to be opportunities to refresh the product, update it, et cetera. So there's always a cost.
We factor that into our research and development part of our profit and loss
statement.
For
a software company, that's above the line, not below the line, because it's a constant refresh of what your product is. But again, I don't want to get into the financial side of it. Just a couple of comments. One is, I think you're underestimating the difference between marketing to an enterprise as opposed to marketing to a consumer base or a student base. And so I think you need to think about how you're going to go about marketing. Students don't go to trade shows. Legal firms do.
Yes.
Students are interested in price efficiency. Law firms, except for one I know of, not very much. So I think
take that as a compliment.
It is. So I think you need to consider how your marketing is going to be very, very different, and you're going to have two different strategies. The next thing is, it's just on presentation style. I completely agree with everyone. You have a great presentation style, and while I didn't think their ideas were very good about what you could do also with your career, I think you'd also make a great litigator, because if you're in law school, I think you'd be great in a trial. But I do think that on the presentation
I'm not sure we're supposed to be convincing people in a business plan competition to become lawyers. I can check the official rules I wrote.
That's probably true. But I would tell you that on a business plan, if you're pitching this to someone you're trying to raise money for, you waited almost to the end to show the financial efficacy of your business, how you were going to make money, et cetera. So I'm waiting, because I do angel investing. I'm waiting. How's he going to make money? I'm waiting. And it was at the very end. That needs to be brought all the way to the beginning. Here's what I do. Here's how I'm going to make money. And all the details will come back later.
Okay.
All right.
That's time, sorry.